Well, good morning. Tried to start the truck this morning with the command start. That was a no-go. Good old GM. As soon as the weather gets cold, the check engine light comes on, the command start won't work. So not spoiled by luxury today. Anyways, that's okay. It's actually a lot warmer. Yesterday it hovered around that minus 20 all day. This morning it's only like minus 3. So I can live with that. I can be only a little bit inconvenienced, I guess. Anyways, I gotta feed the pigs, feed the chickens this morning, and then head off to work. One thing I didn't get finished yesterday, actually two things I didn't get finished yesterday. One was the sheep shelter. Just to get the tin on and all that stuff is really, really tough to do by myself and with limited time. And the second one was closing up the dark side of the moon, or the back side of the pneumonia hole in the chicken house. I'm probably gonna work on that chicken house this evening and hopefully get that wrapped up. There's just, we're at a point now where the hours in the day, they're there, because we've scaled back how many projects we're doing, but the hours of daylight just aren't there, and it's really tough to get anything done, within that. After you get home from work, you may be lucky to get a half an hour or an hour of daylight, and then it's all over. Don't really feel like working by lantern. Good morning, chickens. How are you this morning, ladies? Big stretch, eh? I've seen a couple posts recently online, folks that are concerned about their birds losing feathers and actually reduced egg production. And that's, I could just tell you that's a perfectly normal, natural thing to happen. October through November. It's what's called the molt. Birds, it's just a rejuvenation phase that birds go through. What was concerning though is that a few folks were coming into their coops and spraying them down with Dr. Doom, thinking they had a mite problem. Well, if you do have mites, you're going to be able to tell pretty quickly. You'll see, you just look up at this chicken's legs, you'll see scales up in here, and if you separate their feathers, you'll be able to see them crawling around in there. So if you've got them, you'll know you've got them. So don't just randomly come into your chicken house and just arbitrarily just pesticide the heck out of the place. It's really not good for your chickens, never mind the mites. Well, I'm just heading out with 3 dozen eggs. Gonna put them in the fridge at the shop this evening. I didn't get much done this evening. As I mentioned yesterday, we're at a point now where there's hours in the day, there's just not hours of daylight in the day. So it's really tough to get stuff done. We didn't get the chicken house finished, and I didn't get the sheep shelter finished. I'm probably gonna take a crack at that at first light tomorrow morning. So I'm just whipping up a bucket of pig feed here this evening. It's a little bit different than what we used to feed. I just got that new bag there yesterday from Bloom Enterprises. There's a bit of a shortage of peas in the Peace Country here, so Robin substituted a bunch of wheat for peas, and it's kind of interesting when we mix it with hot water, and it just soaks up a bunch of the dust and stuff that would otherwise be lost. Makes like a porridge for them. With all this wheat, it actually smells kind of like fresh bread. It's actually kind of a nice smell. It's very appetizing. So I'm not one much for superstition, but tomorrow is Friday the 13th, no less. Friday the 13th in the year 2020. If it's gonna go wrong, it's gonna go wrong tomorrow. And tomorrow's actually a big day here on the farm. We have the butcher coming to take care of our lambs. They're off to freezer camp, so unlucky for them for sure, but be lucky for us because we'll have a full freezer. I just come in the chicken house to get the eggs, and I noticed there's a bunch of water spilled out of the water here, and chickens are all pecking around on the floor. So I don't know if there was some shenanigans or what's happened in here, but I'm just gonna have to watch and keep an eye on it. A little bit, jeepers creepers. There's a little bit of social unrest in the chicken house right now. I think with everybody molting and the temperatures getting colder and I'm spending a little bit more time in the house, that pecking order is probably gonna get realigned here. Especially with some of the birds, like this red one here, this other one there. They were this year's hatches, but now they're the fittest and the strongest birds. Whereas some of these old raggedy white ones that were previously the bosses, not so much anymore. Anyways, I've said it before, water on the floor of the chicken house is a disaster waiting to happen. What I'm not gonna do right now is worry about that and stir all the girls up and come in here with a scoop. Tomorrow morning when it's daylight, I'll come out, I'll scoop all that wet material out, chuck that in the compost pile, and throw down some dry wood shavings in there and get everything nice and dry. But for right now, I don't want to rustle everybody up right before bedtime. Got these couple of buckets here that I got from the fire hall. I use them for packing water everywhere because you've got this nice convenient carry handle. And I used to have lids for them. I don't know where the lids are. They're gone now. But anyways, yeah, they're really easy to pack. But when you go to pour it, because there's no breather hole in it, it just becomes a slop and slather and mess. So I got the old handy dandy drill out, and I'm basically gonna just drill a breather hole in here on both of these, and then hopefully the next time I dump water in the chicken house, it all ends up in the water and none of it goes on the floor. Right, well, I got my hole drilled here in the top of the jug. I know that's kind of tough to see, but it's like a 1/4 inch hole, and that's actually really thick plastic. I was quite surprised. Anyways, I filled it up with the tap, and I was shocked when I went to pour this thing out. It come out smooth as silk. So that's a win. There should be no more slop and mess around in the chicken house or in the pig pen or anywhere where the dog water bowl or anywhere where I've got to dump water. So there's one win for the day at least. Well, I got my eggs. I'm gonna head inside and fix up a cup of tea. Tomorrow we'll be back out to revisit the lambs one last time before they go off to the camp. It's gonna be kind of sad. They all have names, they all have their personalities, but it's time. So we'll let you go for now. I hope you have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.